Life has its ups, life has its downs. If you miss one, another one comes around. Life has its ups, life has its downs. If you miss one, another one comes around.
The flowers bloom and so do I. White clouds in a clear sky. The sun shines on me, and everything feels a little bit easy.
Life has its ups, life has its downs. If you miss one, another one comes around. Life has its ups, life has its downs. If you miss one, another one comes around.
Storm clouds, they roll in without warning. Thunder rolls once, then it pours, and then it's gone. There's so much to do, so much this time is wasting. And I know that what is good won't stay for long.
'Cause life has its ups, life has its downs. If you miss one, another one comes around. Life has its ups, life has its downs. If you miss one, another one comes around.
Comes around.
Comes around.
Comes around.
Comes around.
Comes
around.
Around, around, around.
Whence a river flows, there it will return. And the more one knows, the more they have to learn. Sure as the sun rises and it hastens to where it sets, anything that people learn, people will forget. But life has its ups, life has its downs. If you miss one, another one comes around. Life has its ups, life has its downs. If you miss one, another one comes around.
Spring is here in Foxglove, and we find Mara and Aubrey sitting on the shore of Tim's Island, looking out at the waves in a cloudy blue sky.
Should have brought a coat.
Yeah, it's a big commute for you now.
Yeah?
You forget a coat, you gotta go all the way back.
I know.
You gotta finish moving in.
Yeah. The boat didn't come with as much storage as I had hoped. But then again, I didn't think I'd be using it to move.
I mean, I'm excited for you. I think it's fun.
Yeah,
You promised me pizza, so I'm happy to help you move.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. It'll take us a bit to they don't deliver out here. No, I think it's good. It's a little scary,
You haven't lived on your own before, have you?
No, I mean, well, when I went to school, kind of. But yeah, coming back and living pretty much on my family's property and not quite that far away, it never provided a lot of comfort, but this is a new kind of, I wouldn't say fear. It's exciting. I like being out here. I didn't think I would as much.
It's really beautiful.
It is. Yeah. And it's almost like, I don't know, being this close to the water, it's almost like I still feel that same kind of lingering presence that I did when I was living near my mom.
Are you sure it's not the lingering presence of the personification of discontent?
Nope, I'm not sure of that at all. I'm sure it probably is that.
It could be both.
Yeah. No, but it's cool. Like, it's interesting. I thought I'd have more stuff. I don't. I really don't. So maybe another shopping trip is due.
What are you going to do? How are you going to make it your own, do you think? What's the vision?
Yeah.
Because if you're decorating for the first time...
I've never been able to decorate. Ever.
Okay, how do you make it your own then?
Okay, yeah. If I had to think about decorating.
What do you want in a home?
There might be a nautical theme. Or maybe that's too on the nose, if you know what I mean. I want people to walk in here, well, off of their boats, and feel that they are welcome, that this could be a home. A little bit of Mara everywhere, from the walls to the rugs to the comfy, nice armchair. A little bit of Mara everywhere, to the ceiling, the rugs, and that comfy chair. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna go to get all Gucci furniture. They have a home line,
Mara?
Yeah.
In what world would I know that?
This one, because this place is for new beginnings, all right? We're starting fresh. It's exciting. I'm living on an island. That's cool. I'm the mysterious girl on the island. What does that mean? I don't know.
That's a great
What do
hair
you think
flip.
Jay will think? I think she'll hate it. No. I think she'll love it.
You're flipping your hair a lot.
No, in the sense that, yeah, it's just the wind, because I live on an island, obviously. I think I'm gonna go, put up stuff.
Okay, can I help?
Please
I can
help me.
unload a little bit
Please
from the
help
boat at
me.
least.
What?
I can help unload.
Okay, yeah. Aubrey, I might be a little nervous here.
That's okay. It's an empty space. It's not you yet. And
Yeah.
you haven't necessarily had the space away from your mom to fill in the coloring book of what that is.
Yeah, I feel like it's not been like a shadow that I've been living, but maybe it's not. It's not a shadow. Yeah, I fear maybe. I don't know, but this was the trade-off. If I was going to move out here and take this up and have this be our temporary office space for the foreseeable future.
I gotta deal with that plant infestation.
That's okay. You know what?
Even if we don't get the office back, I have to be on good terms with the Chili Pavilion.
I understand that, and that is of grave importance. Me Lighthouse as Sue Lighthouse. And yeah, but the thing that my mother did tell me is that, now that I am living still in the same city, but farther away, is that, those weekly meetings are really important. I think she's turning that house into something that's more her. I don't know what she's gonna do with it, but yeah, it was very much, I don't know, it was hard to read her face, but her eye twitched a little bit more than usual, so maybe she was unhappy.
I mean, I'll just let you know it's a little bit of a feeling to go home for the first time and your room's not your room anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you'll be fine, because you're resilient and you got a lot going for you and you have this incredible space.
Yeah.
And even if your mom's face twitched, she's probably also proud of you, right?
Oh. Yeah, I didn't think about that. It was her left eye that twitched, so maybe she was proud.
The camera pulls up and back and sort of follows Aubrey as she heads back across the water into Foxglove proper and over to the office in Claremont.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of research into the Shroud, into Train 19, into anything I can get my hands on to try to make this summer solstice deadline. But I've also been with the knowledge that anything could pop up and I have to be ready for anything, taking on a lot of extra landscaping work and having to try to clear out our office, which is currently totally overgrown. And so I
Say a little bit more about the summer solstice deadline for anyone who might need their memory refreshed.
Yeah. So I think that I'm not feeling the sort of fancy, free, wonderful whims of spring and summer because a creative vampire and all-around obnoxious guy, Freddie Van Sweeten, has my mentor in a working relationship that feels a lot like a vampiric thrall getting their life slowly sucked out. And I had thought it was because of some stuff I did, but it turns out it's because of something that I didn't really do at all that I have to fix, which is to get back the scrap of the Shroud of Turin that got stolen from the big party that we attended with Greystone. And I'm on a ticking clock to figure that out. And academic research isn't really Aubrey's strong suit, and sort of the networking that comes with that, sort of following a trail in a grand, large-scale way. So it's been a lot of jumping to conclusions and doing a big deep dive into a really specific thing, and then realizing it's totally off base, it's not related at all, and scrapping it. So I don't know that I've made a ton of progress, which is making it feel all a little bit more frantic. Aubrey, I think I've been so long so enchanted by anything magical and wanted to involve myself with it as much as possible. And that this is maybe the first time that I'm starting to feel like burnt out with something magic related, or feeling like a lot of the sort of joyful things that I discovered and got into are now catching up with me in a way that's like very hard to keep abreast of. And so I think that even if there is a lot of delight in following something down a rabbit hole, the very real stakes and the very real feeling of, oh no, I have gotten myself into trouble and it doesn't just endanger me, but it endangers others now in a way that I can't abide by as much, is a new experience.
Feeling some responsibility, even for things that she didn't instigate.
Potentially. Although I mean, I was at the party stealing stuff from this guy, so it's not like because I stole the thing that he cared about less. I'm happy to take the fall and the blame for that as much as anyone else, but definitely feeling a little bit burdened by that.
When you stole the scrap of the Shroud, when your group stole the scrap, when Thorn made off with that, you made the prudent decision to have Greystone fence it off in Asteroid City.
Yes.
Because you know that anything of that nature that got fenced in Foxglove, Freddie would immediately know about and would be able to trace things back to you very easily. That sort of happened eventually anyway, but it was still a prudent decision. It bought you some time. When it became clear that you needed to find the Shroud,
I reached out to Greystone. Yeah, just the most rambling of letters, because I don't think I was sure which information was important and which wasn't.
And so as you're at the office cleaning, the phone rings.
Whoa. Hello?
Hello, Aubrey. It's so good to hear your voice. This is Inspector Greystone.
Yeah. Oh, I could tell. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm really grateful to hear from you, unless it's bad news and I shouldn't be. How are you? How is everything?
Oh, I got your letter, and I find it fascinating. Personally, I'm doing quite well, I would say. The fence went off with nary a hitch, and I'm still kind of floating from the success, unconventional though it may be, of our last case together. Megan and Caitlin seem very happy. Thorn had a great time with the last case, but I haven't heard anything from them since. Professor Mumford is out and about, doing good works.
Good for him. And thank you for sending me the potions from him, too, and setting that up.
Of course.
I'm intrigued to be in a situation dire enough where I drink one.
Indeed. But I got your letter.
Yeah, did you decode the second half? Because that one, it sort of took a turn into abject panic.
No, I can't say that I have.
Oh. Okay, so we need the Shroud back.
How soon can you come to Asteroid City? This is not a phone conversation.
I can finish cleaning the office. I can tell Mara she can finish moving in. I have to go to the laundromat. and then we can be on a train.
Okay. You'll find me at this address. Take this down. And, it's going to look like an ice cream parlor out front. Just order the wintergreen.
Yeah, nobody would ever order that unless it was code, huh? Can you give it to me straight? Is there a chance?
Oh, there's always a chance. Oh, yeah. A long, long time ago, I'll call it ancient history. My ancient mother sat me down on my ancient mother's knee. She said, honey, when you look at something, it might look hard at a glance. But if you look really close, you'll see that there is a chance. So play the long game, run the long con. Always try to keep an eye on what is going on. Situations change, but the goal remains the same. Run the long con, play the long game. Then I got a little older, my world got a little colder. Then I faced men and gods. Every challenge that met me, I knew I didn't forget the advice my mother gave me regarding the odds. She said, play the long game, run the long con. Always try to keep your eye on what is going on. Situations change, but the goal remains the same. Run the long con, play the long game. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes the odds are slim. Sometimes you never know what situation you are in. But keep an eye on the ball and keep your eyes on the prize. So you see, Aubrey, there's always a chance. But sometimes it takes patience. It takes perseverance. What I'm saying is, you gotta play the long game, run the long con. Always try to keep your eye on what is going on. Situations change, but the goal remains the same. Run the long con, play the long game. One more time. Run the long con, play the long game.
Welcome back to the table, Jeffrey Kranz. Hey, glad to have you back, buddy.
Big guitar pick for the most complicated chorus that you remembered all of every time.
Giving us hand motions to remember the lyrics.
Every improviser dreams of remembering a chorus that long.
If you can do it, many have tried.
Yeah, I loved
And
it.
I will never do it again.
It was great.
Play the long
So welcome, Jeffrey, to the table, and welcome back, listeners, to a brand new arc with RPG Major. As we get started here, we are in the story in sort of a transition of seasons, not from, season 1 to season 2, but from winter into spring. And we're going to be having a change of scenery as we travel from Foxglove to Asteroid City. So what that means for the players here at the table is you have a lot, even more freedom than usual to describe things, to like set up elements that are true, to like just establish locations. It's all fair game, and it can be a little bit wild because Asteroid City started off as a gold rush town and hasn't stopped with that energy.
Nice. Nice.
But I'm curious to hear from the players because Mara is moving house. What's an unusual living situation that you have lived in? And Lauren immediately laughs.
Y'all ever heard about the Great Barbie Dreamhouse flood of 2022?
What?
Is this real life? I can speak about real life?
Yeah.
Okay, this is hilarious. My senior year of college, I was living in a kind of apartment, kind of townhome type thing with two of my best friends. And we had an end of year party that I won't go into more details about because it was very fun. However, one of our dear friends, I think, had a little too much, had partaken, and accidentally he fell and his rear hit the spigot in the side area of our little enclosed outside garden space, and water starts rushing and flooding out the side of our house, and everybody is not in their right mind. People are running at it with wine corks. They're people are scantily clad, getting drenched, trying to stop with their hands with it was the wildest thing. And my friend, bless her heart, she was like, everybody get out. And then I was like, hey, if you guys could get into your carpools and leave. And my other friend, he was just not really sure what was going on. Yeah. And that was the Great Barbie Dreamhouse flood of 2022.
So my senior year of college, this was in 2011 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I was under the impression that I was going to get a job upon graduation with the school, and that did not pan out. And so I had not been doing any sort of job search because I figured, well, I've already got this. I'm going to be doing this. I ended up negotiating with the school and saying, because I am in this situation due to the offer being revoked, I am going to continue living in the dorms until I get a job. And I will continue living here until you have a good reason to throw me out.
Yeah.
But so it was kind of like okay, well, what are we gonna do? And then there was a big leadership change. Don't plagiarize. And then seek a career in academia.
Good advice.
Which allowed me to stay for a few months. But there was about a 1 month period in which I was an alumnus living in the dorms with students.
Slay.
But yeah, then I moved out to Washington, found a cool job out here, and I have never lived in a dorm again.
And thank goodness for that.
Yes.
I lived in New York for about a year right after college, and during that time I mostly sublet hopped. And so I was just borrowing, renting out people's rooms while they were traveling. And mostly the timing lined up really well. But with the transition between two housing situations, there was a week and a half of time where I didn't have a place. And I had been telling my friend about this. He was like, oh, my mom actually has an apartment in New York that she doesn't stay in, but will give to people who work in nonprofits. And I was working in a nonprofit at the time. I get the address and I take the train there, and I've been living around Prospect Park. So not too deep in Brooklyn, but a little ways out. It's an hour-long commute for me to get to work. Mm-hmm. And this one is right across the street from the Met.
Oh, wow.
Upper East Side. And I look up at this building, this can't be the right building. And there's a doorman who comes and brings me in and is I've been informed you were coming. And I'm here with all my bags of stuff. I get up to this apartment and it is lovely, but it looks like this very mod, 70s pistachio faded green and pale pink velvet, this huge couch, everything sort of off-white and a little bit faded. Everything is covered in dust, teak wood. There's paintings not on the walls, but taken off the walls and sort of set to the side. It's an incredible apartment, but it's like a time capsule. And my first thought is there was a murder mystery party here in the 70s. Mm-hmm. And nobody's been here since. They just left after the murder mystery party.
Dang.
And so I'm sleeping in this library, and there's a teak little pull-out trundle bed, and there's giant paintings of tigers that have been taken off the wall and are just leaning on everything.
Not unsettling at all.
And the view goes straight into the Met. Yeah. And so I could sit there, and there was a huge snowstorm while I was there, and so we couldn't go into work for the week. And so I was just sitting in this very strange, very surreal time capsule building, staring through the snow to try to see art at the Met. It was sort of an incredible and very, very surreal experience.
That sounds harrowingly groovy.
It was, yeah. It was
That's
truly
cool.
groovy. I had nothing else to do because there was no Wi-Fi, and so I watched the 80s VHS recording of Cats. And I was like crying during Gus the Theater Cat because that song really makes me cry. And it's like snowing and the lights of the Met are on, and I'm in the like murder mystery apartment. It was a moment.
So I lived on a bus for about 3 years. Before I went to university, I sent out college applications, and I also sent out an audition tape to a group that had been touring for about 30 years and rotated out their members periodically. And I won't mention the group's name because it's sort of part of a former life where I was super religious, and I'm not at all anymore. So I feel slightly weird about it. But for 3 years, I was part of this traveling music group where we would go and we would sing in a different town basically every night. So I lived on a bus, and we performed in 47 states and visited 48.
Wow.
Having a living space where your only private space is about the size of a coffin is weird. Can't recommend living with your coworkers ever. And especially not when you have literally no opportunity for other social engagements. But living on a bus, fascinating. You're always a special occasion when you show up. People are very curious about you, and you get to know the people that you live with incredibly well. Blessing and a curse. But living on a bus touring, good grief, what a strange way to live.
Wow.
Dang.
And that was like your early 20s?
I was 17 when I started doing
Oh
that.
my God.
What an interesting
That's the time to
first
do it.
way to live.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like both living very independently and also not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm realizing that we did not introduce ourselves, but also if you're picking up the podcast here, you should go back to the start, or at the very least go back to the Inspector's Invitation arc and start there, because from there to here has basically been one solid continuous story, but that's where the sort of season arc begins, and you're going to be lost. You're just going to be lost, and I'm sorry, but that's what happens if you start at, I'm guessing we're probably at about episode 40?
Whoa.
Because 19.
Mid 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mid 30s, early 40s, somewhere in there.
Almost old enough to rent 2 cars.
Let's go.
But still, I think it's important that we introduce ourselves. I'm Helix. I am the GM. My pronouns are he, him. And I lived on a bus.
I'm Lauren, pronounced she, her. I play Mara Vertere, and I lived in the Barbie Dream House.
My name is Camilla, pronouns she, her, and I lived in a time capsule 70s apartment above the Met.
It's Aubrey coded.
Oh, I play Aubrey.
And my name is Jeffrey, pronouns he, him. I play Inspector Greystone, and I lived in a college dorm 4 months too long.
Yeah! Party don't stop.
I love that my intention was to like just take that and slide it in before we started talking about our stories, and then I immediately put the story bit in, so that wouldn't make any sense.
I feel like my story was too long.
No, that's
You're
good.
fine. I mean, I genuinely think people listen to podcasts for long-form storytelling. I mean, if they're listening to this one, they certainly are.
Yeah.
So,
And if you don't, let us know.
and how have you made it this far?
Get in the comments.
Get in
Hello
the
to our
comments.
friends on Discord.
Hello.
We appreciate
We love
you.
y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you folks are nice.
All right, back towards the story. What sorts of things do Aubrey and Mara need to do before they leave town for a bit and head off to Asteroid City?
Well, Mara would ask, do we have to go by train? Can we fly? She'll buy plane tickets. I also want to add, I think she probably got Aubrey a boat so that she could come visit. Because I realized you said you took the boat. I'm like, well, then Mara would have been stranded and without a boat. Mara offered to buy a nice one for Aubrey, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
So I'm picturing like kind of almost swamp boat, like if the pickup truck was a boat.
Yeah.
Like that is the one that Aubrey picked out.
The sort of thing that's like where you're like, this is a community boat so that people can access the lighthouse, and that was how you tricked her into being okay with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And because I'm like, and it was not a lot of money, I think. I think the guy that I got it from almost paid me.
It'll be good because clients can get to the island then,
Right,
which
exactly.
is good. Fewer barriers to entry.
It's the Thorn boat. We'll get a plane soon. Putting that out there. I think Mara, I think she doesn't have to unpack everything, but she wants to get all of her stuff into her place in the lighthouse now. But then if she's leaving, does she need to get somebody else then to look out for it? I think that then she's talked to Jay.
All right. So Mara goes to visit Jay.
Yeah, at her place.
Okay.
In Haglin Hill, probably.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Jay's apartment is small, but it's airy. It is a industrial loft feeling place, exposed brick walls, concrete floors. She has taken advantage of the 20-foot ceilings and hung essentially a roll of canvas that has this like swirling blue and green pattern that she painted on it. Floor to ceiling mural, more or less, even though it's not permanently installed.
She's so cool. Yeah.
All of the furniture, thrifted but impeccable, is the vibe that she's decorated with.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll do my little knock.
Hey, babe.
Hi. She'll like give her a nervous hug and a kiss. Be like, hey, hi. Sorry, I didn't tell you I was coming over.
That's okay.
I love what you've done with the place.
I didn't think you were gonna notice.
Yeah. Well, so now that I'm decorating more, I'm like, noticing it, I guess.
Yeah, you were talking about it. It just kind of got me thinking. And so, yeah, all the lampshades.
It's so cute.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, speaking of...
She gives you a little kiss on the cheek and like goes to her kitchen and starts heating up water in an electric kettle.
Yeah. Actually, could I, like, talk to you about something real quick?
Of course.
Okay, well, one, you know how, Lighthouse is so cool and fun. Would you be willing to watch it for a bit?
To watch the lighthouse?
And I can totally ask somebody else if you're swamped right now. But
I just don't know what you mean. Like, what do you mean?
Like house sit, and also just like make sure it stays on.
For how long?
Honestly, Jay, I'm not sure. What I really should have started with saying is that, remember, it probably was not long after we met that we were doing this work with Thorn Investigations, and this guy came from out of town who's also an investigator, and we went to Freddy's party. Do you remember all of that?
Of course.
Okay, well, so that ended up getting us in a little bit of trouble.
That's where this nervous energy is coming from.
That's part of it.
She pours hot water and like hands you a cup with green tea steeping in it.
Yeah. I have realized that I am not as good at hiding when I get freaked out about things, especially in front of you.
Wait, you thought you were good at that?
No, I don't know. Maybe
babe,
even a little
babe.
bit. Okay, yeah. So cute. Whoa. What ended up happening is that we took something from that party. And Mara kind of like takes a breath and like looks at Jay and is like, I think I have a tendency to talk around things, and I really like you, and I think there's something I need to tell you that I don't tell to a lot of people, and I haven't ever had it come up in a romantic context before, and it's something that I feel like I can trust you with, but I just need to be kind of uncomfortable and say that even if we end up going separate ways in the future, that this is something that you don't share with anyone.
She sits down next to you on her couch and just puts her hand on your thigh, just like up near your knee.
Did you ever read The Odyssey?
In high school, sure.
Okay. You know that part where he like ties himself to the boat and there are like people that are like singing to him?
The sirens, yeah.
Yeah. What is your opinion on them?
She does some mental math, you can see. Is that why Uncle Jay was warning me?
What? I'm gonna guess probably yes. What was he saying to you?
She takes her hand off your leg and folds her hands in her laps and kind of closes off her body language just a little bit. Just to guard my heart. But thank you for trusting me with this. And she seems to reach a decision, and her body language opens back up a little bit and turns toward you. Sure, I can watch the lighthouse for as long as you need.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know if this was too soon to have told you or too late. I've never done this before. The the only other people that know that aren't my mother are Thorn and Aubrey. I just didn't think it was fair for us to be moving forward and me to be asking things of you and be caring about you as much as I do without telling you, well, you without knowing the whole me. Much like the tide, some things always change, but you and I hope some things stay the same, like the way you do your hair and the way your hand fits in mine. Myself up to give us as much time. Here I am to see. Here I am, open all of me.
Mara, you could say anything to me, and I believe it's true. All that I've ever wanted from you is to see all of you.
Here I am to see. Open all of me. Here I am to see. Open all of me. Thank you for... I didn't know how this was going to go, and that's not a reflection of you, but only of me. And I really, I love you. Thank you for thinking... I don't know. I think that's all I have to say in response to that.
Is it okay if I talk with my uncle about this? I get the sense he knows.
Yeah. Who is he exactly?
He's Uncle Jay. He's Blue Jay.
Uh-huh. So then, you believe this pretty quickly. I'm guessing the things that exist that maybe other people don't know about or believe in, you're aware of all of that.
When your uncle is a mythical being,
Yeah.
she kind of shrugs.
Is it by marriage, through marriage, he's your uncle, or?
He's kind of a lot of people's uncle.
Oh, okay.
I mean, no, there's no blood.
Yeah.
Or maybe way back. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay, well, if he's already aware, please, yes, do what you need.
Okay, I just need someone to talk to about
Yes,
it.
no, of course. And look, you do what you need, and I'm not planning on acting any different around you. If anything, I might be less nervous, but I still am not sure I want you to meet my mother for my own sake.
She just looks curious now.
And if that's a challenge you want to take on, I'm going to trust you. I'm about to go speak with her anyway, so...
Oh, not today.
Yeah, but
you can see this sort of impish...
Yeah. Oh, thank God.
impish energy on her face.
Well, so then I guess I'll hand her the keys to the boat that has a little, lighthouse keychain with a heart on it. And it has the key to the lighthouse and a little, Mars stationery with some directions on it. And a little note at the end with, a heart and... for her. Thank you. I'm gonna be back as soon as I can. And she's like, I have your number. I'll call you when I'm there. And maybe I could tell you more about some of the cases we've been doing recently.
Oh, you'll call me at the lighthouse. That makes sense.
Oh, no, I'll call you when we're in Asteroid City.
But I'll be staying at the lighthouse, so you should call me at the lighthouse.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Because if you call here, I'm not going to be here.
You're not going to be here, of course. Well, you could obviously... Okay, the lighthouse can be left alone for a while. Yeah, okay. If you want to, like, sleep here and, like... Cool. And Mara just kind of puts her face in her hands. Oh, by the way... There's like this thing that lives at the bottom of the lighthouse.
I'm bringing a cut over to Aubrey.
That was wild. Oh, so sweet though.
So I'm going to write 2 letters. One to Alex Dinney, who works in development at the zoo topside, but does events and might have ways of helping someone get access. He has, I believe, forgotten about the presence of magic, and so I think that it's going to be a little bit of a hard sell with him, but he does have some sway, and I have a good relationship professionally with him, I think. We'll see if that bears any fruit. Also, yeah, some of the family stuff that Tavo had reminded me of when we were in the cavern below the lighthouse. Remembering that I haven't talked to my family in so long and thinking about how Mara is like finally stepping out of her mom's shadow. I have existed so far outside the shadow of my family for so long, mostly by choice, but not really through the wrongdoing of my stepbrother. His only fault was being competent and nice and a better child for my dad than I was. So I think that I'll maybe reach out to him because I think he's finishing up his senior. I think does like ecological engineering. He's doing something that feels like maybe the zoo uses people for like enclosures and design, and Underzoo's designed, right? So he would do that, right?
Let's get the letter as a song.
Okay, sure.
Making space for everyone to fit in. People and animals too. Got that internship at the zoo. I'm really proud of you. Anyway, leaving town at the end of the day, but when I'm back, maybe you and I could have a chat. That's something that you want. Don't mean to show up like a ghost uninvited, and all I do is haunt, but I want know how you're doing and all the work that you're pursuing, Henry. Maybe you can tell me how Greg and Joyce are. Maybe you can tell me if you went to the spring fair like you do every year. Don't tell them hi from me just yet, but maybe
continued on next page.
Maybe if there's something you can pass along, and I'll pass you something back. Anyway, that's what's what's up with me. You're cool, scratched out, caring, scratched out, older. Stepsister Aubrey.
Guitar pick given.
Eloquence personified.
Beautiful. How you're doing? What work you're I was like,
The internal rhyming. Yeah. The internal rhyming.
oh, good. But just the heart. Yeah. Wow, we're really punching at the throat and the heart.
Throat punch.
We'll do some fun stuff.
Yeah, we will. But back to Mom. Okay, well, Mara will roll up in the Porsche because she's bought a parking spot at the dock. She covers it. We were off table. Camilla and I were talking about this. I was like, is the Porsche going to be okay at the dock? Like, I don't know. Anyway, so Mara will roll up and maybe with a false pretense that she's getting a few more things, but ask one of the attendants, is my mother busy at the moment?
The regular amount, miss.
Okay. Is she up in her study or maybe in the library?
She's in the study, miss.
Okay. Well, if it is the regular amount, then I might go knock and...
Of course, Mistress Malady.
She'll grimace and shake that name off and head upstairs and knock at the door.
Enter.
Come on. Hi, Mother. Sorry to bother you. Is this an okay time?
She finishes writing something, closes a folder on a stack of documents, pushes it off to the side, caps her pen. Of course, dearest. It's always such a pleasure to see you.
Oh, well, you too, Mother. And I know we already had our chat for the week a couple days ago, but I actually think I'm going to be going out of town for a bit.
Is that so?
Yes, I just wanted to let you know. I also think Aubrey and I are going on a girls' trip.
She quirks a single eyebrow up.
And Mara is having this internal thing of, does she let down all the pretenses like she did with Jay, with her mom, or does she not? I also think, well, and she'll kind of falter and stutter and know that was absolutely tracked.
Of course.
We're going to Asteroid City.
Fantastic place.
Okay, you've been?
Of course.
Yeah, you've been everywhere. We are continuing some of the business that went down when we were all at Freddy's party.
Her smirk fades, and she leans forward, looking at you intently, tips of her fingers on the table in what looks like ready to pounce posture. Following up on what happened at Freddy's.
I'm telling you because I owe you for what happened that night. I don't know how deep the web goes, obviously, but he's causing harm to somebody that Aubrey really cares about. And some of the things that happened at the party obviously upset him. And in order for us to, well, get the person that's kind of in his fold back, we have to return something to him that we now think is in Asteroid City because of, well, the inspector that I was with at the party with, and she kind of trails off.
You're going to meet with Greystone to try and retrieve the Shroud.
Yep. That's it. Mother, so you got me. And there's more. I think he's onto something about Aunt Fee and why she had to move away so many years ago.
Give me a vigilance roll here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to go against 4 purple.
Woo! 4 purple.
Yeah, this is a
Greens and
daunting
yellow.
check. Yeah. I will point out there are 3 story points on your side, and this is a very hard roll.
Okay, can I use one to...
Yeah.
Upgrade.
This is gonna maybe not go my way.
You never know.
Yeah. Here we go. Woo! No, of course not. Nope, that is so bad.
That's a lot of threats.
2 failures.
2 failures, 3 threats.
Love it. Woo! This is fine. We're getting information.
What you see is that as soon as you mention Aunt Fee, her face goes from like ready to pounce to poker player blank.
Ooh.
The threats will come up as the conversation goes.
Okay.
This is a mode that you've seen your mother in before, and she is unreadable when she wants to be.
Does she say anything, or is it just...
She's sort of waiting for you to finish your sentence. He might have some leads on Fee.
And about a case that he was involved in and now has evidence that she was as well. I don't know. I know that I'm never going to get all the pieces from your side, but I'm kind of tired of running around in the shadows and just wanted to try being upfront with you for once.
You know that I don't countenance her name being spoken in this household.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I thought it'd be helpful for you to know.
Thank you, Melody, for telling me.
Mm-hmm. She's like gone back to like kid state of body language and shame. I just thought since we all share a name.
We all share a name, perhaps not all sharing a nature.
Okay.
A rare moment of hesitation from your mother. Perhaps too much the same nature. Sometimes it's hard to tell with family.
Okay.
But if you're going to be dealing with Freddy...
Yes.
I don't want you to fall into the same pitfalls that ensnared you last time.
Right.
If you're going after Freddy, you need to be prepared. You need to set your traps. You need to weave your webs. You need to be so far ahead of him that he doesn't even know he's fallen into your trap when it springs. Don't let him see a thing before your trap springs. Don't let him know at all before he takes a fall. Don't let him see a thing before your trap springs. Don't let him know at all before he takes a fall. With a man like Freddy who's got power, you can sit around and think devious schemes for hours and hours.
Oh.
He'll see through those. He always knows.
Always knows.
See how deep, my girl, your deviousness goes. Don't let him see a thing before your trap springs. Don't let him know at all before he takes the fall.
One step ahead.
No 5.
Okay. Thinking around the obstacle.
See the whole maze.
Use what he thinks is his strength to stab him in the back.
Can't let him see the blade. Don't let him see a thing before your trap will spring. Don't let him know. Until he's ready to take the falls.
I think her spine is erect. This thing that's been in her stomach this whole time is gnawing, but in a way that finally feels right.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if her mom, because Mara hasn't felt like in line with the kind of, she's always associated that like bloodthirsty, like take down this person, like twist them, ruin them, end them.
Mm-hmm.
She's never associated that with a good thing. But now she's like, no, like, Mother, if I have the opportunity to kill Freddy, I would take it.
Good.
And so, her resolve reinforced by her Machiavellian mother, Mara prepares to travel to Asteroid City with Aubrey as they begin their search for the Shroud next time on RPG Major.
Mara Vertere is Lauren Drake. Find her on socials at La Drake and performing around Seattle with We Have Some Notes. Aubrey Stump is Camilla Franklin. Find her on Instagram at Camillastrator. Camilla also does all the art and visual design for our show. Inspector Greystone is Jeffrey Kranz. Find him on Instagram at Jeffrey_the_red. All music for this arc of RPG Major was created live in the room by our incredible accompanist, Noah Samuels. Find him on Instagram at Samuels_Noah. And I'm Helix. Connect with me and the cast of the show on our Discord or at RPG Major on Instagram and Blue Sky. If you're listening to these as they come out and you're in the Seattle area, you might want to know that Jeffrey, Drew, and Phil, the actors behind Greystone, Tavo, and Fabio, are all performing together in Hex and the City, running at CSZ Seattle, weekends in late May. CSZSeattle.com.
I'm trying to figure out which of two stories to tell.
Tails. It was Tails.
Oh, I hadn't assigned them yet. There's one is sort of murder mystery apartment and one is knife mansion.
Murder mystery apartment, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you've been?
Of course.
Oh, yeah, you've been everywhere. The smirk! So good. Sorry. Lock in, Drake.